The cargo hauler drifted through the asteroid field like a wounded animal seeking shelter. Inside, Marcus Grant checked the oxygen readout for the third time in as many minutes. 12 hours remaining. Maybe less if the life support system continued its slow decline into failure. He had been transporting mining equipment to the outer colonies when the ship's reactor decided to prove every engineer's worst nightmare. Now he sat in the dim emergency lighting, watching his breath form small clouds in the increasingly cold air. The proximity alarm shrieked. Marcus lurched toward the sensor display. Something massive had just entered the asteroid field. The signature was unlike anything in the colony database. Too organic in its movement patterns. Too deliberate in the way it wove between the tumbling rocks. A hunter. Everyone in the outer rim knew the stories. Ships that vanished. Crews that disappeared. The colonial marines called them ghost tailies, meant to keep freight runners on established routes. Marcus had always figured they were just stories told by spacers who drank too much station whiskey. The comm system crackled to life without him touching a single control. Human vessel. The voice was female, but there was something else underneath it. A resonance that suggested the sounds were being shaped by a throat not quite built for human language. Your ship is dying. You are dying. I am Kira of the hunting clans. You will join me, or we both die. Marcus stared at the comm panel. Both die? You seem pretty healthy from where I'm sitting. The collective tracks me. 3 of their warships enter this field in 1 hour. My ship requires repair. Yours requires power. We help each other, or they find us both. He pulled up the long-range sensors. His hands stopped moving when he saw the contacts. 3 massive ships, colonial designation unknown, burning hard toward their position. Why would I help you? Because humans are survivors. I have watched your kind for many cycles. You do not surrender. You adapt. You find paths where none exist. There was a pause. And because you know I speak truth. Check your scans. I disabled my weapons before hailing you. Marcus ran a diagnostic on the approaching ship. She was right. Every offensive system showed cold. What kind of repair? My quantum drive has microfractures. I have the materials, but lack the steady hands for precision work. Your species excels at fine mechanical tasks. I have seen the colony reports. You've been spying on us. I have been learning from you. There is a difference. Marcus looked at the oxygen counter again. 10 hours now. The cold was making his fingers stiff. If I come over there, how do I know you won't just space me? Because I would have done so already. Because the collective wants both of us dead now that I have contacted you. Because we have only 40 minutes before they arrive. And I need your help more than I need another trophy. Trophy. The word hung in the recycled air. You're one of the hunters everyone talks about. I was. Before I learned that the collective fed us lies about your kind. Before I discovered that humans were marked for elimination, not because you are dangerous, but because you might become dangerous. Because your potential frightens the elder species. Marcus made his decision. He had maybe 10 hours of air versus 0 chance if those warships caught him. Simple math. Send me your airlock's coordinates. The crossing took 12 minutes in his emergency suit. Kira's ship was smaller than he expected, built more like a living thing than a vessel. Organic curves instead of hard angles. The airlock sphinctered open to admit him. She stood waiting in the corridor beyond. 7 feet tall, covered in interlocking plates that might have been armor or might have been skin. 4 arms, 2 of which held tools. Her face was angular, predatory, with eyes that reflected light like a cat's. You came. She sounded almost surprised. 40 minutes, you said. We're wasting time talking. Something that might have been respect flickered across her alien features. She turned and moved deeper into the ship with a fluid grace that made Marcus think of big cats he had seen in zoo documentaries. The drive chamber was a nightmare of fractured crystal matrices and exposed power conduits. Marcus whistled low. You flew through a debris field with this mess? The collective forces me to take risks. He pulled the repair kit from her extended hand and got to work. His father had been a ship's engineer. Marcus had spent his childhood in reactor rooms and drive chambers, learning the intimate language of stressed metal and failing systems. The quantum drive was unlike anything he had trained on, but the principles remained the same. Energy flow, heat distribution, structural integrity. He traced the fracture lines with careful fingers. Why did you break from them? He asked while working. The collective. Kira was silent for a long moment. I was sent to observe a human colony before its scheduled elimination. I watched for 3 cycles. I saw how you protect your weak, how you share resources even in scarcity, how you create art and music while living in the void itself. She paused. Then I watched the collective fleet arrive. I saw what they did to the colony, to the children. Her 4 arms flexed. The collective said humans were violent, primitive, dangerous. But I had watched you for 3 cycles. I knew what violence truly looked like now. Marcus's hands didn't stop moving, but something cold that had nothing to do with his failing ship settled in his gut. Which colony? New Vancouver. On the rim. He had friends there. Had friends there. Past tense now. So you turned on them. I tried to warn the colony. I was too late. But I transmitted all my observational data to other human settlements before I fled. The collective has been hunting me since. Marcus finished the last connection and stepped back. Try it now. Kira moved to the control panel. The drive hung to life, its crystal matrices glowing with steady blue light. She turned to him with something like a smile. You have skill. You have 25 minutes. What about my ship? I can tow you beyond the collective search radius. Then I have portable fusion cells that will give your life support 30 more days. Enough to reach the outer stations. And then? Then you tell other humans what I have told you. You warn them that the collective fears human potential enough to plan elimination. You prepare. The proximity alarms began screaming. Both of them looked at the display. The 3 warships had arrived early. They knew, Kira hissed. They tracked your ship's distress beacon. Marcus felt his stomach drop. I didn't even activate it. It activated automatically when your reactor failed. Standard safety protocol. She was already moving toward the command deck. We have minutes, not hours now. The Hunter's ship came alive around them. Marcus felt the deck vibrate as systems engaged. Through the viewport, he saw the warships spreading into attack formation. Can you outrun them? Not with your ship in tow. Not in an asteroid field. Kira's hands flew across alien controls. But humans taught me something about survival. Sometimes the best path is the one no sane being would take. She pointed at the display. At the massive asteroid tumbling toward them, its surface pockmarked with deep craters. That hollow is large enough for both ships. We go dark. Wait for them to pass. They'll scan it. Yes, after they scan the 60 other large asteroids in this field. Her eyes met his. We gamble. Like humans do. Marcus thought about New Vancouver. About his friends. About the portable fusion cells that would keep him alive long enough to warn others. Do it. Kira's ship dove toward the asteroid with that liquid grace. Behind them, the warships opened fire. Energy bolts turned nearby rocks into expanding clouds of vapor. She spun the ship through a gap Marcus would have sworn was too narrow, the hull scraping against stone. Then they were inside the hollow, pressed against the ancient rock. Kira killed every system. The ship went silent and dark. Through the viewport, Marcus watched the warships prowl past. Massive things that made Kira's Hunter vessel look like a toy. They fired into asteroids at random, their sensors sweeping the field. One of them paused directly above their hiding spot. Marcus held his breath. Beside him, Kira was perfectly still. The warship's scanning beam played across the asteroid's surface. Marcus could hear his own heartbeat in the silence. Then the ship moved on. The three vessels continued their search pattern, growing more distant with each passing minute. Neither of them moved for a long time. "They will return," Kira finally said. "But we have hours now. Enough time." She guided the ship out of hiding and latched onto Marcus's crippled hauler. The fusion cells she provided glowed with steady power as they integrated with his life support. "Head for the frontier station," she told him. "Tell them everything. Tell them to look for the data I transmitted. Tell them the collective fears them because humanity has something the elder species lost long ago." "What's that?" "The ability to change, to grow, to become something new." She met his eyes. "We are old human. We are set in our patterns. But you are young. You are flexible. You are dangerous because you refuse to stop evolving." Marcus nodded slowly. "What will you do?" "Continue hunting. But now I hunt those who hunt you." Something fierce crossed her features. "The collective taught me to be a predator. Now they will learn what they created." She released his ship. As the distance grew between them, Marcus watched the Hunter vessel come alive with light and power. "Marcus Grant," her voice came over the comm one last time. "Survive. Warn your people. Become the Thin."